Hello, Iman. First and foremost, happy Father's Day. Um, I should be celebrating with my father as well. Pretty soon, we're going to be eating dinner. Um, so that's going to be my deadline. But I did want to get something in before the week starts. Naturally, I've been pretty bearish. Usually, it happens this way on the way up when there are exuberance and things move way more. I tend to want it to come back to the what do you call that? Mean reversion. And not mean like angry, but mean like the average. So since things are really pulling and dragging upwards, I still have this sense of um I want things to be quote unquote what feels normal. But it doesn't matter how I feel. It's what the market's going to give us. I did a recap on Friday. Uh, I've made some pretty decent decisions, and we've made a good amount of money, especially on some puts. And then we made our money back with Zcash, which is nice. Uh, I really tried during this today. I spent a couple of hours tracking and getting a idea of where I want to position myself. And I was watching the charts, as you can see here, a lot of buying and selling. And sometimes I just get caught up in like I got to remember that most of the time price is not going to move. It's during times like these, like market open, like futures open, um, market open in the morning, uh, the week the weekday, the Friday, the last day of the week, the last day and the first day of the month, which we're kind of reaching again. Wow, it's crazy how time's flying, right? We're just talking about the end of May, and that was a pretty decent trade that we made during that time. But I highlighted it heavily in previous videos already. We really we capitalized, but not as much. Anyways, so it's really difficult trading. Being a trader is very difficult. And as you can see from these, this is a 5 minute chart. I can make it a 1 minute chart to see even how crazier it is. You can see how shorting, selling, and then buying back to sell, all in this range of 1%. That really chops the account up. We're looking at 54,000 now, but even just a couple hours ago, it was up to like 57. So really, the experience that I'm building on here is to have patience for not doing anything until the opportunity, until everyone comes into the room and the party starts. You don't want to pre-party. You don't want to use all your energy before the party begins. And even now, market opened at 6, so that was right here. Right? We got the initial thrust, came down, testing both the supply and demand, and we're somewhere in the middle here. There's still no reaction. The market opened slightly down, and this is a crazy chart. I want to get into this. Insane. This is like a 1-to-1 prediction. This is a 3x from January. What I really wanted to see is where are we and what's going to happen, right? Market opens. gap down, pushes into this supply zone, into this demand zone, and then kind of recovering. There's some geopolitical stuff that I won't get into. Um, and so I'm just basically, I had a whole bunch of positions open, and the reason why we're down is because it costs money to open and close positions. So I just decided let's get out of basically everything so that we can watch the next move. And it's safe to assume that the next move for Zcash is going to be down, as highlighted it in on Friday. Why I believe that's the case. The up here was break even for us. Down here was like up 20K or something like that, which kind of made us all of our money back, which is awesome. Can't be mad at that. And since that point, we've got another higher low. I mean, a lower high. And yeah, this looks very unconstructive. So we finally had that mechanical bounce that came up 160%, mind you. And then it's just going to float down lower now. First stop is going to be in the 300s, lower 300s. Then it's going to be in the lower 200s. And if we're really lucky, we can get into the mid hundreds. And that would be the time that maybe there's multiple pressures on crypto and on Zcash fundamentals. And it'll get to a discount rate where people are actually happy to buy it again, or there's no more sellers. So I think that's what's going to happen. So we could have technically if we wanted to just short Zcash all the way down another 60%, I can see that happening. But what I mean, it costs us pretty a lot on the way up. So to break even on that is it's amazing for me because we made money on other stuff, right? So we'll see what the next move is. If we can break down below here, below the 430 definitively, I'll go for some shorts there, aiming for the lower 300s. So that would still be like 23%. I'll take that. 23% on a really large position really adds up. So yeah, being a trader is hard. But it's almost like a prerequisite skill in order to stay nimble within any investing environment, which is what we're building for. We're building towards being able to invest for the long term and even in the medium term to make the most out of our ability to leverage. So we'll put this to the side for now. We'll keep Zcash. We know it's 445. So if it gets below 440, it'll be pretty obvious. Now, where is the stock market? Again, I'm biased to the downside, as is Dr. Profit, who started getting into his shorts down here, which he's admitted that he's wrong. He's been wrong on. And then he finally finished his shorting, maybe up here. I don't know. Maybe that's where the line is. But yeah, he probably has it somewhere here. That's like his whole position. So he's underwater. It's underwater 2.9%, which is not a whole lot, but he's playing with big size, so it could add up. Overall, in all his positions, net short, he's already in profit for a lot of money. He's saying that we're in the phase 5 scenario, which we can crab a little bit before the next leg down. I do believe that. So on any leg up, that's an opportunity to take a downside. We have some shorts working for us. We've closed some pretty good position. We closed some positions pretty well. Yeah, it was pretty disgusting how we turned 110 down to like 88, and then now it's back up to 96. Hopefully, those positions are not going to suffer too much, and we can still stay in the six figures. Anyways, this is just kind of ranting at this point, but to get into what I really want to talk about is hype and hyper liquid. These charts look freaking fantastic, which is what was keeping me in these hype longs. Um, it just doesn't make sense that hype would be the only one to go up while everything goes down, right? So I have my biases, long basket and short basket. So if market's going down, um, I'm happy to be shorting Zcash. I'm happy to be buying puts and um, selling remainder of stocks. Right, happy to do that. And the inverse, the long basket, I'm happy to buy hype calls on per and at bottom fishing, something like MicroStrategy maybe. And that's if like we make a big reversal, and I don't think actually that's the case here. Yeah, it's just you know, Zcash trying to find some footing here. It's quite possible that uh, Trump tweets and then things will gradually go back up again, and which is fine. Monday is usually an up is a green day, anyways. We can keep adding to this list as we move on. But yeah, I just want to look at per. The reason why I'm so bullish on per and hype for that matter is because it's still holding parabola. Kind of crazy how it tapped it again and it bounced into the weekend. So eyeing this area here. I technically don't really need. Oh yeah, we have an alert here. I would start taking profits here, and then if it keeps going up higher, this is where I would start to look for shorts. Um, Parabolas don't go up forever. This is interesting. Now, this chart I built sometime several months ago, and because my pattern recognition saw that it saw that this really did resemble what BNB was doing. So I went back to the first couple years of BNB, which is like 2018, 2019, and I took the fractal and pieced it from top to bottom here. So I guess it was sometime in March or April when I put this fractal out. As you can see, it's like 1, 2, and then I drew this down here, and then this I drew up here. So it was probably sometime in April. Um, and I imagined that this was going to go down here, and it did, and then it popped back up, 100% from down there. What's the next move is the question, right? So we can go and refer to BNB again for that. Um, I like this line. So if that's really what's going to happen, I like bouncing below the forever line, right? Kind of fake out here. I mean, yeah, into 100 maybe. Like the longer this goes, the higher it's going to squeeze up, right? So 100 might be the place to be, and that would end up being in the end of the year, which is way too late. I think it happens a lot faster than that. Maybe like this. Maybe like that. It's pretty obvious that hyperliquid is the thing that is that crypto was building towards since Ethereum. There, maybe this into November. and this would be a solid move. It would be a 66% move. This forever line should forever hold, and it should serve as support. If we go into BNB now, what we can do is try to find out where this is for BNB by transferring it over. BNB USD from Binance because that's the origin. Let's see. Yeah, this here was kind of crazy. I think, yeah, this is what I took, right? I believe this is what I took. And I form fitted it. Obviously, it wasn't perfect. This here, and then it pops up and it comes all the way back down to $6 during the bear market. I guess this was the bear market. And holy moly, it really does. So what happens to it? Right? Let's actually see. Oh, well, we're actually beyond that. If you think about it, we're beyond that because we came down here. First, we double tapped the $8. Then we went up to the 50 something, and then down here to 20. This would be 20, and then this is current prices, which is like 70. Um, and it's higher. So technically, if this is BNB, then we're ready. Like, how crazy does this look? This is almost exactly a one-to-one scenario here, right? From the top to the bottom, the timeline, from the bottom to the next move. That's insane. What? Look at the propulsion on this. Oh man, it looks like we're weeks away from a 5x. Well, let's take a look. This is insane, actually. I would love to see this play out. This is freaking incredible. What the hell? Nah, that's too much. What I want to do is like take the entire overlay of BNB and then just, you know, form fit it. This is freaking insane. BNB ended up going 6x in 3 weeks from here. All right. Yeah, what can we do with this? Maybe what we can do is like literally one of these things. Because BNB adoption was huge. I remember PooCoin, remember all those different iterations of these chains. And that was a very special time in 2021. Oh boy. It's a great time to fumble a bag, to be honest. Um, but we're real traders now, so we understand. Like, there's a good understanding. Hype USD. This one's a clean chart. I don't mind using a clean chart for this. Make this work, I think. Do this on a daily. All right. How can we make this work? Let's see. Super drag this. Make this big, way bigger. Here. Wow. Right? Seeing the similarities yet? Huh. I can't. This doesn't look right. 444. Oh, man. Yeah, this thing looks like it's going to breach very soon. Any minute now. Type USD. Let's go back to the 5-bit one. Like, how did we have this fitted? We got to figure this out. It's kind of like this, right? Huh? Get a lot bigger. A lot bigger, man. Because, we're only in the 70s right now, and BNB ended up going to 1300. So that's why the chart looks all strange. It's by number. All right, here. Are we close to this? Almost. Almost there. All right. There. Very close. All right. Wait, is this the biggest it goes? Oh, shoot. It looks like it's the biggest it goes. And we got it. Okay. Perfect. There. Now, where do we where are we gonna end up here? That is a fine question to be asking, right? Well, might want to elongate a little bit, but according to this chart, we're gonna. It's like tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going straight to the moon, which I wouldn't disagree with. I wouldn't disagree with this, um, because look at per, right? If we keep the parabola going, then we're gonna hit 13 and then 16. It can go any place, but we need a catalyst for it, and catalyst isn't there yet. We've basically exhausted all the catalyst for height, other than like this new protocol that they implement or something. I like this here though, because even though it makes the chart look all crazy, there's a target, and that target is freedom. This is a 12x. Now, is Hyperliquid going to be as impactful as BNB? Um, yeah, it will. Will it happen now? Probably not, actually. So we hit this, and then we can have it come back down again, right? From here, kind of come back down just like that. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. That would be going into the end of the year, and um, oh, this is actually February. We're on the daily here. So yeah, this actually looks super reasonable, right? So what this says is A, it's not too late to buy hype. There's going to be plenty of time for that. It's going to be fun to trade it. But for long term, we're here. And then B, if we just keep watching this chart, we should be able to get quite profitable here. Yeah, so pretty excited about that one. Is there any alerts over the weekend? We had SLV, which just popped today. We also were looking at, oh, gold's not here. I had XAG. All the positions were closed. So, whoa, what happened here? Yeah, there's no reason to really mess with things right now. I'm cool with a wait and see approach. However, we saw a bottom fishing alert, so that's worth keeping an eye on. We tried. I bought silver and we were down like 1600. I had to kind of close it with all the other positions. Just didn't really make sense to hold it. But like I hold it honestly. There might be a catalyst. They were saying, hey, silver's in all batteries or whatever. The reason why I was hedging with oil was because, hey, I thought the market might go down. But it looks like oil's going down instead, so we'll close this position. Forget it. All right. We have an alert for INJ, and that was in the beginning of the month. That would have had a couple of round trips. Yeah, things aren't looking too hot. things are not looking too hot for crypto and altcoins. Yeah. I can't imagine that this is gonna last much. Like this is how I feel all the time, right? So I mean, I guess when the stop loss hits, that could be another time to revisit. Hey, is this the bottom? This is the bottom. So we did say we were going to short at Zcash 473, which would have been the right move. Um, that's June 19th right here. Where is it? June? Yeah, it probably was this line right here. Boom. That turned out to be the appropriate move. Very nice. Um, I did. We were short. We were short like 50 all weekend. I just closed the positions before this stream. It's still possibly worth shorting. However, what I really want to get into is if Zcash ends up hitting into the 500s again, yeah, I'm cool for a short there. So June 4th. Yeah, this is before all the exploit and everything. There's so many alerts. There's so many alerts. Yeah. It was a good definitely a good trade over the last couple months. So, I'm not surprised that there's all these alerts. June 17th, which was really close. All right. We'll talk about June 17th. Because this we can get rid of these here. June 4th stuff, we get rid of it. Yeah. All right. June 17th, move above 494. Then hold to the third target. All right. Would be 600. It's fine. I don't know if we do that. That's not gonna happen. It might pop its head up and then come back down. That's what I see potentially happening. Look at this. Look at this manipulation here. It's just maybe something like that. But this don't look good. In what world does this happen? I I don't know actually of a world where that happens. So, yeah, Zcash looks pretty cooked. This obviously did not happen. We did not just break down and go through. We actually ended up having the scam pump and then dump. That was nice. That was nice. All right. Well, yeah, we're gonna need time to digest for Zcash. I wouldn't mind just kind of shorting a pop here. We get into the high fours and low fives. Yeah, happy to short that. So connects this out. SR flip on June 19th, 1:17 a.m. June 19th. Here. SR flip. Uh-huh. Above is bullish, below is bearish. Very close. Very close. It looks like it's holding just a little bit. This is going to alert us again. It'll alert us again if it hits it. But if that happens, I think that's screaming for us to short the S&P 500. Yeah. Wait for US 500 alert to sound. And from here, I know we're going to have to be buying it at a premium, but we can then smash it and short get massive amounts of potential here because it can go down another 1%. It can go down another 3%. And I believe that that can happen. So what happened here? I don't know when I installed this fractal, but it kind of overshot it. This looks more like what happened here. One jig, two jig, double bottom. If we were to flip it, see what it looks like when it's flipped. Oh, that is what I did. It was previously already mirrored, and that's kind of what happened here, huh? It it did almost the same thing it did last time, but in reverse. But at any rate, I mean, the pattern is all kind of recognizable. They're moving the way they move. The non-ability to get past these previous highs is concerning. Um, we're just looking for any reason to get a flush down. Yeah, I mean, again, I could be bearish, but then wrong, right? So the best time to actually be shorting would probably be here or here, and definitely here. These would be the three top places that I'd be looking for shorts. And I'll put an alert here, potentially eyeing a reversal here. It depends on what industry, right? If we're shorting software, that makes way more sense than if we were to try to short these microchip stocks. What's that one? SanDisk is what Dr. Profit is shorting. We have a put here, which I'm starting to not like. Um, yeah, I just maybe this is the wrong thing to short, but Dr. Profit put it on my radar, so we're trying to see it through. Our short ends up breaking even at around this price. It's 40, right? So it's kind of like around this price we needed to get to. That seems a little difficult. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Whatever we already put into the market, I think I'm going to keep. And if we see any potential reversals, like if our puts are down 80% and then it comes back to down 60%, good reason to add to it probably. Nobody cares about Workday, honestly. Yeah, it's kind of done. It's wow, pretty awful. What happened? It's down 26% and it's on a crazy downtrend. It's a software stock. Software stocks have been taking a beating. This might never recover. Not gonna look at it. Microsoft. Interesting for Microsoft, right? We have man down 20% from here. Um, yeah, I mean we talked about this on Friday. I probably won't put my hand in on a hot stove, but this area could be pretty solid for accumulating some Microsoft. Pikachu pattern. A Pikachu pattern is most likely to play out. And if it's going to be bearish for this week, then yeah, we can bounce off of that area that I just pointed out. Yeah, as we kind of reach the close of this live, I want to think about what might be the most important takeaways. Zcash is going up. That's nice. Solana's popping back. That's cool. Um, yeah, I think we should look at what Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing. So Relative to Bitcoin, Ethereum has, it looks like it may be finding some sort of base here. Interesting. If we're bullish on altcoins, this would be a nice place to move. Um, this is clearly a downtrend, but we've reached a point where supply might mean demand. So I'll move this alert down here. That could be worth a look. Whoa. Yeah, that'd be a 37% move if Bitcoin stayed exactly the same price, which we know it doesn't. Um, this is an interesting. What the heck is this? How do you? This one here is an interesting chart. It's how Solana's doing against Bitcoin, and this looked like it's bottomed out as well. I mean, it could be doing one of these things. Could be doing one of these things. This is worth putting an alert on. Yeah, Solana BTC. And yeah, let's see how it fares. Because this would also be like a 30 some percent, huh? Whoa. I mean, this could potentially happen. Solana moving another 80% because it really fell down the ranks. Let's go to coin market cap. Yeah, what I'm trying to look at. So Hyperliquid is currently number 9. Solana's number 7 after being top 5 for a while. Yeah, we're looking at what 17 billion market cap for Hyperliquid. If it could really catch steam and get into the top 5, BNB was a top 2 at one point. But let's say it's a top 5. That's still 4x, 5x from here. 5 times 70 would be 300. 300 Hyperliquid. Solana can stand to be top 5 and double from here as well. But really, what are we looking at? What's the other one here? And we're interested in. Eh, yeah. But realistically, though, hold on. Hold on. Oh, my dad's here. Give me a second. All right, it's time to eat dinner really soon. But yes, let's go through the Bitcoin stuff. The Bitcoin dominance did come down, but crypto actually didn't do well. So that's something to note. Usually, when we get this large move, oh wait, what's this 2 days? A 2 day chart. When we get a large move down like this, things are supposed to be going well for altcoins. Didn't happen. Um, so yeah, this could be like the many people going into cash. That can also mess with the dominance, like Tether. All right, and there's this messy chart. Let's get rid of this, I guess. That looks a little better. There's a lot of moving averages here, which we don't actually need. Just get the 200. And what's this do? That's fine. Okay. It's probably just we drew a lot of stuff in here. And this is very interesting because I haven't touched this chart in what 4 years, and we bounced directly off of this line. That's something good to note. Let's note this is the most important thing I'm going to say in this chat. I think when the market is dumping, check the main Bitcoin chart and the main Ethereum chart because the indicators that we put on here, they're going to start to trigger. So this is insane how this held up the way it did twice, right? Because it's 60K, it makes a lot of sense. We drew these in because they're very important areas. And so this push was huge. This is a money-making move. It's like gigantic move orientated. Now, let's take a look at what prepping for gigantic move. What we're looking for. Monday, green. Tuesday, so to position shorts, and then Tuesday to double down shorts if necessary, and then Wednesday to start taking profit, right? So it's either Wednesday or Thursday where we kind of see the reversal. I can totally see that. We can check and see if it's okay to do that. Like you see that here, it's just we keep bouncing off of this area where a lot of people are buying. It could be a springboard. You never know. So we're staying away from the market for now. Even if it goes down to 4% here, we still have a further 20 to go down. So it's perfectly fine here. We just want to get the meat of the move and slam large quantities when that happens. This line turned out to be a great indicator for the crash. We crashed into 60 again. And yeah, the sideways move is also another, it's the same thing, right? Looking at this diagonal channel, which signifies a bear flag. Once we lose that area, it's going to be the same old thing. Down into the 50s. I could totally see that happening down here. Yeah, so still, in summary, bearish. Look at Ethereum, see where Ethereum looks, what that looks like. There's this thick purple line that's we've been touching upon in the 1700s. Here, this 1800 line was pretty awesome. I should have looked at this. And this yellow, wow. Oh, I guess this is a Fibonacci, right? It's different. But yeah, actually, we kind of I don't care for the Fibonacci, but we try to break out into this green line that's been drawn since forever, lose the purple, and we're losing it again. Yeah, where does Ethereum go from here? Well, if Bitcoin goes to 50, Ethereum's probably going to go to 14, right? That makes the most sense. And that, my friend, is a long way down. Dr. Profit has already started with his shorts. So that's quite crazy good. We might want to have a little bit more patience with our shorts and start some. Anyways, after this, I'm going to go and look at what DP is going to say. Oh, here we are with that. And then after that, prep for the week, and hopefully the next stream, it's going to be me celebrating on how we made our first 6-figure trade. Let's go. The gigantic trade is coming around the corner.